Today, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can become a video game developer, no matter what your level of expertise is, your interest, or your level of education. And this is coming from someone who's experimented on all the different sides of game development, the programming, the art, the music, the game design, everything. So I think I can help you out no matter what your case is. The video game development world is so beautiful and it expands so much every single year since more people are spending times playing games on their computers, on their phones, on their devices, and it's just going to be a growing industry more and more as we go throughout it. So we need more game developers, and it's so fun and it's so good to be aware that this is something that you want to do because you can actually make a really tangible impact in the industry. I also really encourage, if you're a woman watching this, to really pursue this because I don't think that there's enough women in this field, and a lot of us are scared to enter it because we don't see the representation of other women in it. So if you're a girl, continue watching as well. Before I get started with the roadmap on how you can get from where you are to where you want to be, I'm going to tell you about something that's super important to me. So right now, me and my team are developing a cozy baking game called Madame Fifi Bakery, but we're only going to be able to make it a full game if we have the correct amount funded on our Kickstarter campaign. About a cat baker who owns a cute little bakery, and she has to serve all of the adorable animal townsfolk by baking them pastries based on their sometimes not explicitly stated requests. So you can play the free demo in the link in my description. There's tons of really cool things that you can unlock in the Kickstarter campaign, such as unlockable characters. You can get Kickstarter exclusive outfits, art books, recipe books, calendars, beta testing privileges, you name it. So please, if you want to help support me, support the channel, and support my other female developers that are in the industry with me, please consider pledging, link in my description. Let's get on with the practical tips on how you can become a game developer. So the very first thing to decide is what your specialty will be in game development. So the main sections are programming, art, music, design, and storytelling. So those are the main ones. Decide which one resonates the most with you. It can be maybe a combo of two, but really I would stick to one for the moment. Also, there is a caveat. There's also, if you're interested in content creation and marketing and producing, which is what I'm specifically interested, but that's something that maybe people specialize in once they've already decided what parts of game development they like, or if they really like all of it and they want to be a generalist, then they go into producing, marketing. Next thing, let's be realistic here, okay? I really don't like the word realistic, but sometimes we need to use it, right? Do you already have a job? Do you have a day job? If so, you're probably not going to be able to spend as much time as someone who is like myself in university, has all the time to explore and study around. If you're still in your day job, this is going to be something that you're going to want to do on the side of it, I'm assuming. So depending on your case, if you have a day job, I would look into online courses unless you're looking to go back into school to study something specifically. If you are, however, in university or looking at what you want to study for university, if you're still in high school, then I would look at maybe studying something like computer science, art, or music, depending on what your specialty is. So computer science would be good if you want to be either a programmer or a game designer. Art would be good if you want to be an artist, and music would be good if you want to be a musician. However, I would say that 99% of game developers I know either have a computer science or software engineering background, regardless if they do music or art for the game, because actually it's really something that it's good to know the basis of. For example, I did the 3D art for a Ubisoft competition that we actually ended up winning, but I do study software engineering. It helps to know what other people are doing. So if you are interested and intelligent and looking at doing math and sciences, then I would look at doing computer science regardless of what your background is. However, if you are someone that is really, really good at art or music already and you've already experimented a ton with that, then that's probably something you're considering studying in university, and I would just go for that instead. There is, however, only a certain amount of stuff that you can actually learn from going in a classroom. The beautiful thing about the internet age is that there's so many free resources available online. Regardless if you're actually going to campus to study or if you have a day job, looking at tutorials online and doing online courses specifically by people you admire that have done things that you admire is something I would recommend no matter what. I would look at Thomas Brush, I would look at Brackeys, I would look at Code Monkey, I would look at all of these different creators that create amazing tutorials for Unity, for Godot, for Unreal Engine, and look at specifically how you can learn things by doing rather than just sitting in a classroom and listening to your lecturer. Another great thing is the ability to work online and work remotely. That's something that really has gone up in popularity ever since the COVID era. So I would look at, do you want to be someone that works from your laptop or from your computer? If so, then you don't have to consider relocation if you don't live in a major city. However, if you do live in a major city and you would like to work in office and actually be surrounded by other game developers, then that's something that you actually probably want to have an educational background in. Just because I feel like people are more lenient on hiring remote workers if they've studied remotely or studied on their computer and done some online certificates, whereas people that have gone to in-person schools are more likely to do in-person jobs. That's just the trend that I've noticed. But I mean, it's not actually the rule, it's just something that I've noticed. But it's something that you want to consider. Do you want to actually be someone that goes into an office? If so, then you would have to consider relocating if you're not situated in a major city like Montreal, Vancouver, Silicon Valley, New York City, you know, England, London. A lot of small cities really don't have game development studios. So if you want to work in person, you're going to have to be located in one of these major cities. Another thing to know about yourself is if you want to be doing indie or if you want to be doing AAA. They both have their pros and cons. Just quickly off the top of my head, indie, the good things are that you get to really have an impact on what the game turns out to be. You also get to become really close with your coworkers and you have a meaningful office position. Some cons, you have multiple hats. A lot of overtime is required. A lot of crunch time culture is very present there, which is when they require you to work a lot more, especially towards the close of the end of development, because everyone is very, very closely tied to the product. So there's more of an emotional connection and basically you're more married to your product. AAA, it's kind of the reverse of that. You aren't having as much of an impact. You sometimes can feel like a replaceable number, and that's kind of the cons. But the pros are that you have a bit more of a work-life balance a lot of the time, and some things are already automated, so you don't have to wear multiple hats. You really have the tasks that you have to do, and that's it. So it depends on what kind of lifestyle you like, what kind of work environment you like. And then the third option is to own your own studio and make your own games. This is something that I am doing because I really, really like to be independent. I love to create things out of my own imagination, and I'm actually looking at having people that work for me as well. And right now we have a few partners actually, so we're co-owners of our studio, so we all have the same vision. Basically, we have a studio where we're developing a game, but we all have different tasks and we all have different roles in the studio, so we make the game together. And we are considered an indie studio because we are smaller than, I think you're indie if you're smaller than like 100 people or something like that. So it's really about knowing yourself and what do you want to do? Do you want to be someone that's really creative and that does their own thing? If so, I'd really recommend either the indie route or the person that is opening their own studio route. Or if you're someone that really just loves video games and you don't really care about doing every single thing and having a huge role in it, you just really want to be involved in making video games, I would recommend the AAA route. There's no wrong options here. Every single studio has their own pros and cons, and they're all good for different people. So it's really just about knowing what you like and how you function best. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I gave you some tangible tips, and please make sure you play the free demo in the description and you pledge to our Kickstarter in order for us to make a full game, because if we don't receive the 55,000 Canadian dollars required to do so, then we will unfortunately have to stop development, which would be a shame. So please play the free demo and check that out, or share this with your friends. And please let me know what kind of studio you want to be a part of and what your kind of interest in game development is, and let's have a conversation about that in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you want to see from me next, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!